I can't remember a more confusing time to choose an iPad. It just used to be the iPad, but now we have the iPad mini, the regular iPad, the iPad Air, and the iPad Pro. Hello, my name is Otto, and welcome to the channel. I think that most people are having a hard time choosing between the basic iPad and the new iPad Air 4. So in this video, I'll be comparing the two of them. Let's start with the design. Both iPads are made with aluminum. The regular iPad has the same design as the older generations. Bigger bezels, a home button here at the bottom of the screen. It has Touch ID, and this iPad even has a headphone jack. The new iPad Air 4 now looks more like the iPad Pro. I like the clean design with the flat sides. The back side is also flat. Choosing a color is probably a challenge too, since they all look very good. In my opinion, this design looks quite attractive. There is no home button on the display anymore, but it does have Touch ID, which is now on the power button, and the Touch ID seems to be very snappy. I had no trouble unlocking the iPad like many people are saying. If I quickly tap on the button, it will unlock the iPad, but it will stay on the lock screen. So if I want to completely unlock and get into the home screen, I need to rest my finger on the power button like this. There's no Face ID on these two devices, but I don't feel like I missed that on these two iPads. And I even feel that Touch ID in many cases is a better option than the Face ID. The screen size on the iPad Air 4 is 10.9 inches, and on the regular iPad it's 10.2 inches. The real difference is that the iPad Air has a laminated display and the regular iPad doesn't. A laminated display means that all the different layers that compose the screen are all together as one piece. When it's not laminated, those layers are not going to be together, and there's going to be a thin air gap between them. So when I touch the screen on the regular iPad, it almost feels like the icons are below the glass. But if I touch the screen on a laminated display, like on the iPad Air 4, it feels like the icon and everything else is up there in the glass. Both the regular iPad and the iPad Air have 60 Hz refresh rates. They both have 264 pixels per inch and 500 nits of brightness. So they are kinda similar. Both of these displays look very good, but the iPad Air has the upper hand when it comes to the screen. Besides the laminated display, the iPad Air also has a P3 wide color display, which provides better color accuracy. It has an anti-reflective coating, and it just looks amazing. On the sound department, the two iPads have a two-speaker system. The regular iPad's speakers are located at the bottom, and the iPad Air 4 has one speaker with two grills at the bottom and a second speaker with two other grills at the top. This is especially useful when you place something in landscape mode, where the dual stereo speakers are going to be heard more balanced. Under the hood, the regular iPad has the A12 processor with 3 GB of RAM, but the iPad Air 4 has the newest processor, the A14 with 4 GB of RAM. Both of these iPads are going to be great for daily use, such as emails, social media, YouTube, watching movies, and playing video games. But the chip of the iPad Air 4 is crazy fast and is going to handle heavier apps way better than the regular iPad. The A14 chip is the same processor that is on the newest iPhones, the iPhone 12, the 12 Pro, and even the iPhone 12 Pro Max. So heavier tasks like scrolling on a video clip on Premiere Rush feels more fluid on the iPad Air 4 than on the regular iPad. Some high-demanding video games also load faster and feel way better on the iPad Air. The regular iPad wasn't too bad from my point of view, but it's just going to depend on what you want to use it for. One of my personal favorite features on the iPad Air 4 is the fact that it now has a USB-C port. Thank you, Apple. The USB-C port makes it easier to use compatible devices that I already have. I can connect my camera directly to the iPad. I can use my USB-C memory card reader and also these portable SSD hard drives that I use all the time for backups or to transfer my files between different devices. By the way, these hard drives are from the brand SanDisk. These are very fast. They cost around $100 depending on the size, and they are very reliable. They are water and dust resistant, lightweight, and small. And the iPad 4 doesn't have any trouble reading them. The iPad Air 4 also offers access to the second generation of the Apple Pencil, which costs about $129. And it will also support Apple's Magic Keyboard, which has a trackpad, and basically this turns your iPad into a laptop experience. The biggest complaint is the retail price, which is $300, and I know, it is expensive, but Amazon has been selling it for $200 lately, and that's just a good deal. The regular iPad will not support this Magic Keyboard, and it has pencil support, but it's only the first generation. Battery life on both devices seem to be pretty similar at around 10 full hours. And also, something to know is that the iPad Air 4 has Wi-Fi 6 versus Wi-Fi 5 that the regular iPad has. You might not even benefit from Wi-Fi 6 right now, but it's the newest standard and it's not only faster, but it's more efficient than older generations. If you care about having a good camera on an iPad, the winner is going to be the iPad Air 4. Both iPads have a wide camera on the back, there's no flash, and the iPad 4 has a 12 megapixel camera and the iPad 8 has an 8 megapixel camera. Just 4 megapixels, but the difference is day and night, with the iPad Air 4 having more sharpness and overall better image quality. For video mode, the story is similar. iPad Air 4 will support 4K video recording at 24, 30, or 60 frames per second. It can record 1080p at 30 or 60 frames per second and 720p at 30 frames per second. It also has a slow motion at 1080p at 120 and 240 frames per second. Compare all that with the regular iPad that can only shoot 1080p at 30 frames per second. Both devices have time lapses and also video stabilization. I usually don't care too much about the front camera, but considering that nowadays we're using it for so many things like FaceTime, Zoom, or video calls, I do have to say that I do prefer the video quality that the iPad Air has to offer when it comes to live video. On these two screenshots, we can see that the iPad Air has less noise, it handles the color better, and the skin tones are also better. If you're looking for a tablet that can do all the basic stuff that we use nowadays, like watching videos, playing games, emails, or social media, but you don't want to sacrifice your wallet, this is the one to get. I would say that one of the biggest reasons to buy this iPad is going to be the price. It comes in two storage capacities. The 32GB one costs $329, and from there you could get the 128GB for $429. With this iPad Air, you're getting the fastest chip available right now. This is the same chip that comes on the new iPhones, and if you're not planning to change your device too soon, you're going to be fine with this one for another 4 or 5 years. The iPad 4 comes with 64GB of storage and the price is $549. And from there, it's going to make a big jump to 256GB of storage for $749. These are the retail price, but Amazon has been dropping the price lately. I'll put the links in the video description and on the comments so you can check them out. Tell me what you think about these iPads on the comments down below. Time for me to say goodbye, so I hope you have an amazing day and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.